Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 28 of the Chosen One Star Wars podcast here on Game Domain. As always, I'm your host, Jason, joined by my co host, Captain.
Bueno.
And all right, so today we're just going to be discussing a little bit, with you guys. Obviously, we have not gotten a Mandalorian Season 2 trailer yet. We were hoping that we would have that to talk about this week, but obviously, Disney has not released anything as of the time we are recording this on Thursday night, which is September 10th. This will be coming out on Monday, or, when you guys are watching it, it should be on Monday. And so, as of right now, as of the time of this recording, there is no trailer out. If it gets released sometime over the weekend, we're sorry. We'll talk about it next week. But we can't. We're gonna have to put this episode out as it'll always already edited and whatnot. So we have to record it here on Thursday night, and we'll have it out to you guys. It is out to you guys on Monday. So if the trailer comes out, don't get mad that we're not reviewing it. We'll review it next week. All right. So we're gonna be touching on some very credible rumors, and I guess kind of leaks or whatever from the actual atmosphere going on set of season 2 of The Mandalorian. During the filming, the filming did wrap up back in early March, right before the coronavirus pandemic hit, which is mainly why Disney has reassured us time and time again that there will be no delay on The Mandalorian season 2. And obviously now we know we're getting it on October 30th because I'm sure they already filmed everything, so they were able to edit remotely and safely and whatnot, even though their studios in Los Angeles and whatnot were shut down. But so yeah, I mean, so Captain, knows a little bit more about these rumor topics than I do. So, Captain, why don't you just, kind of talk about, the article that we saw and kind of talk about some of the leaks and some of the speculation about, a little bit of contention brewing on the set of Mandalorian season 2, and also its relation to the John Boyega Disney Fallout situation.
Okay, so I'm going to say this right now. Everybody at home, I want you to repeat what I'm about to say to you. Okay? Captain, I am not going to take this information and blow it up and turn it into something that it is not. I am going to listen to this information. I hope you're still repeating this. I hope you are going to take this information and not try and tear down Disney or do something stupid by blasting it all over the internet, because at the minute, it is technically a rumor. Okay? It's not official. It's a pretty solid rumor, but there have been problems, supposedly, allegedly. I'm supposed to do that, and I'm doing air quotes as well. On the set, about halfway through of filming Mandalorian season 2, some stuff went down, which might have caused Senor Pedro Pascal to walk off set. It might, once again, allegedly, be to do with an executive or someone higher up working there. And allegedly, it also might have impacted the way that season 3 pans out, if there is a season 3, and is potentially, and also allegedly, the cause of the reason that we haven't had a trailer. Because everybody at Disney who works on this stuff doesn't like the trailer, which is why there isn't a trailer at the minute. Now, there is an article which I guess we can link in the description so you can check it out for yourself and read it properly. Once again, don't take the information as fact. Okay? If you are taking this information as fact, then I pray God that you don't destroy us by doing something. But so, apparently, a source for a YouTuber, and YouTubers are really good people for actually getting proper information out instead of news articles, because we're YouTubers, so people aren't like, oh yeah, no, they're just going to leak this all over the internet, which is weird because we work on the internet. So apparently, from this person's source, during about the halfway point of season 2 of The Mandalorian being filmed, um, problems specifically around about Pedro Pascal, and I'm taking this straight from the article right here. Um, so it sounds like that he had a problem with someone on set, possibly an executive, which might have actually caused Pascal to walk off set or even be told to walk off the set, as they didn't use Pascal to film following the halfway mark of season 2, and instead, since Pascal wasn't around, used other characters to finish the season. Okay, that is one paragraph out of this multiple article, and I'm picking that one specifically because it says the main thing is what are the problems with Pedro Pascal. So it looks like, and I think this is something that is happening to Disney because everybody's just jumping on Disney right now, and I could not be happier. Seriously, Disney deserves to take a drop kick to the. Someone flash kick Disney. Just walk up, Gal theme playing, flash kick Disney, have a bit of fun with that.
I can second it. I can
So
second that.
the yeah,
Think about if we
the
never got.
person who
Think about if we never got. I didn't want to cut you off, but that just think of
yeah,
like
go for
if
it
we
now.
never got like Mandalorian or Star Wars: The Clone Wars on Disney Plus. How much more everybody would hate Disney. I mean, think about it. The only reason that we're still kind of sticking around with this stuff is because of how good The Mandalorian was and that they gave us Clone Wars Season 7 on Disney Plus. If
Yes,
they didn't do that, Disney would have no love whatsoever from 70% of the Star Wars fan base, probably. I just wanted to, bring that up quickly. That's the only reason we're still clinging to
yes,
Disney. And then this situation
definitely.
is very, very makes us very skeptical about, Disney moving forward if there's a big
Well,
problem with
yeah,
the Mandalorian, which is their biggest hit.
it's kind of weird that the only two things keeping Star Wars afloat right now are the Mandalorian and like the games. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
that
the
is
only
true.
thing keeping Star Wars afloat,
And
not
by
the
the
movies.
games, we mean Fallen Order. Because that, I mean, I know you didn't
No,
like
we
it,
don't mean
but
Fallen
by
Order. We mean
majority of
Lego
and
Star
Battlefront
Wars,
2. Yeah, and Lego Star Wars.
Battlefront 2, and the upcoming Squadrons, which
The
looks absolutely
Squadrons, yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Which
you're not a
comes out
fan of
actually.
Jedi Fallen Order, obviously, but I think that that's
No,
probably the most well-received game throughout the fan base. I do just like you. I love Battlefront 2 as well, but most
oh
well-received through
god,
the
yeah.
whole fan base. I think that probably Jedi Fallen Order might take the cake as the most popular Star Wars game as of late that Disney has been had some sort of hand in.
Nah, Lego Star Wars is gonna
Well,
blow it
yeah,
out of the
Lego
water.
Star Wars will blow it out. Released so far, maybe Fallen Order, but
Yes.
all right.
Now, the on the article side of things, what I probably should do is I should probably finish off reading the rest
Yeah,
of this so people
then
can't
we can
go,
talk
you've
about it.
taken that out of context.
Yeah.
Okay? Because we haven't. So I'm not going to mention names. You can read the stuff, but it says, as someone offering things may have been offering things may have patched up, suggests that whatever Pascal's problem was during season 2 of filming might have been fixed for the sake of season 3, which means they want Pascal to stick around as the Mandalorian. If Pedro Pascal left the role, that would be a huge blow to Disney following the disastrous Star Wars movies. I love this person already, and would love and wouldn't look good for Disney Plus because The Mandalorian is the streaming service only show, and a big reason why fans are still subscribed, while Disney basically has no new content to add to Disney Plus. Thank you. That is actually also the end of the article right there. It is from Cosmic Book News. It's called Star Wars Powder Keg. Pedro Pascal problems with the Mandalorian. If you read the entire thing, it comes down to a little bit of hearsay at the minute, a little bit of kind of is it not? But apparently there was some stuff that came out on Tuesday that had an interview with I think it was I'm trying to make sure that I get all this stuff right so people can't jump on us.
Hmm.
But I believe it was opportunity to me as an audience member, which now that we know that halfway through season 2, Mandalorian will be disappearing and not be the focus, it kind of solidifies this rumor, which kind of sucks because like we said, Mandalorian is the best thing going on and the only thing going on right now for Disney. But I really, 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 really doubt this will have any impact whatsoever. There is no reason to think that just because halfway through season 2 of The Mandalorian disappears, that the show's going to be bad because it won't. Okay, yes, it's called The Mandalorian, but there's also kind of already been non-centered Mandalorian episodes in the season 1. Like we get an entire, I think it's like a 2 episode arc for the Hell Jumper. That I can't remember her name. You'll know this one, Jason. The bounty hunter woman who works with him.
Cara Dune.
That's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
the she's not
played by
bounty
Gina
hunter. She's like a
Carano. The
yes,
yeah, the
that one
fighter lady. Yeah.
who everybody tried to get. Yeah, they all tried to get her fired for like a gay woman of color or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It was some stupid, and she just backhanded everybody. Get out of my
Yeah.
face, you idiot! Which I swear, if you're listening to this, thank you very much for being one of the only like 5 people in the universe who doesn't just give in to all this kind of
Yeah,
crap.
give in
Thank
to
you very
the
much.
social justice warrior bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like why should never mind. That is an entire side of the universe
we,
that
we
irks my
we
entire
could do a
life right
5-hour
now.
episode on
I
on
could
that.
I could I could do a TED talk on why people like that need to shut up because it doesn't help anybody. It wrecks everything.
Force is female.
But like I said, yeah, read the entire article for yourself. You'll be able to dive into it some more. I just wanted to focus on this one section of it. And yes, it is true that Star Wars doesn't need any more drama right now, especially with John Boyega coming out and just 1-2 punching him into the gut. Thank you very much, John Boyega, for
John
being
Boyega just giving a nice send off to everybody.
yeah, one of the only like again one of the only people who worked in Star Wars who didn't take any of their shit. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Especially when it was like you knew what you were doing with the other people, you just didn't know what you were doing with me.
Yeah.
And to be honest, you can see that in the entirety of the movies.
Yeah.
I think this has turned more into a fact that Star Wars has problems when it comes to filming stuff right now.
Yeah. I
It's
mean, if
it's terrible.
I mean, just that little the point you just brought up about filming stuff. I mean, if you think about it, going back, looking at all everything Disney's been working on, almost everything had some sort of production issue. I mean, we look at The Force Awakens, I think that went relatively smoothly. I don't remember exactly. I believe it may have been delayed from May of 2015 to December of 2015, but I don't think so because I think they initially planned on releasing all the movies like a year and a half apart from each other rather than the 2 years that they went with. Then obviously we go into Rogue One. Rogue One had director changes and some major production issues, as well as some major reshoots, which is why, like there's a couple things in the Rogue One's trailers. Like, the one thing that's always stuck out to me was that when Jin is like walking off on that platform, which is that big tower on Scarif that
Yeah,
sends the transmissions,
in
in
the
the
trailer we
trailer,
had the
yeah, the
yeah
TIE fighter that just came up. Um, and so now that wasn't in there because of reshoots. So they did serious reshoots on that, director changes, major production issues with that. Obviously, with episode 8, that was delayed. There weren't any major production, issues on set other than the fact that it was delayed from May to December of 2017, and also that the movie was complete garbage. But that's a different thing. And
yeah
then the production's issues with Solo, which everybody knows, obviously, ended up being a massive flop at the box office, even though it's a really good movie. And, me and Captain, you and I both,
hell yeah.
really love that movie. But,
Apart
with the
from
production
what's his
issues.
face who plays who tries to do a Billy D
Oh,
impersonation.
yeah. Yeah. Donald
I
Glover
can't remember
doing,
his name.
doing Lando.
There we
Yeah.
go.
And then obviously, we had Lord and Miller initially doing that Solo movie. They didn't like, Disney didn't like their way they were doing the story, and they said, all right, fuck you, Disney, we're not doing it because we're not going to have you write the story for us. We want to do it. We're the ones who are supposed to do it. So they said no. Then they brought in Ron Howard to do it. And then obviously, with the Rise of Skywalker, Colin Trevorrow initially supposed to do it. Disney didn't like Colin Trevorrow, so they brought back JJ to finish the trilogy that he started with, a little bit of a detour, if you want to call it that, in the middle with episode 8. So obviously, I mean, Disney has had a slew of major production issues with just about every single movie
Well, yeah.
other than The Force
Let's
Awakens. And The Mandalorian season 1 was the first live action thing that we got that was like, all right, this is very smooth, there's no issues. And now if this article is really true, which I do have some skepticism about, but I'll get to that in a second. If this article is really true, then here we go again with Disney just dropping the ball, and their biggest success story, which is The Mandalorian, is now going to turn into yet another production problem, and something that who knows, if The Mandalorian disappears from season 2, you might lose a lot of those casual fans who aren't big Star Wars fans. Maybe they've seen the movies, they don't really care that much, but they had Disney Plus and they're like, oh, the show looks cool. Because that's a big part of the Mandalorian's audience, is those very casual fans who just had Disney Plus, or people who maybe even never saw a Star Wars movie who watched the Mandalorian and said, wow, this is a really good TV show. It's Star Wars. I don't have to love Star Wars to acknowledge that this is a really good TV show. And their attached to the characters that they built in season one, which is one of the main praises from really all of the Star Wars fan base as to why the Mandalorian season one was so good, because it didn't shoehorn in old characters, and it didn't do these like remember moments where it's like remember this. The only thing you could really do was with episode 5 in the season, which was directed by Dave Filoni, who we all know is a massive Star Wars nerd, who the whole episode, was centered on being on Tatooine in the Mos Eisley area. So that is really that's really the only like pure nostalgia bait, and that obviously can be attributed to Dave Filoni, a lifelong massive Star Wars nerd, just like all of us, wanting to shoehorn in some nostalgia for those original trilogy fans by using Mos Eisley Spaceport as the backdrop for that whole episode. But other than that, it was really just all completely new with new characters, new actors to the Star Wars franchise, and a lot of new locations. And then now we know with season two, they plan on going in this direction of bringing other characters in from other, Star Wars mediums. Like, we're supposed to be getting a lot of Clone Wars and Rebels characters, through all these rumors and whatnot and casting
Yeah.
confirmations. And so these fans who are new fans aren't going to have any attachment to those. And if the story starts to center around these Clone Wars and Rebels characters being shoehorned in here in cameos, and Mando is somehow dropped, like this rumor suggests, you're going to lose a lot of those casual fans because they're not going to have any attachment because they're going to say, oh, but this was the main character. Now he's gone. I don't really care about any of these old guys. And then you'll still have the massive Star Wars fans like us who will still watch every episode no matter what. We may not like it as much if Mando's gone and if they shoehorn in cameos from other Star Wars, from other genres of Star Wars, then that like the animated TV shows, which is what they plan on doing for season two, then they'll always have that diehard fan base, but they'll be losing a lot of those casual fans that they had for season one, and that they're banking on coming back for season two, because that's what made them a lot of money off of revenue from Disney Plus, the subscriptions, just sheer amount of people who watch The Mandalorian. I believe it's like one of the most watched original TV series of all time. I think it's and on a streaming service, I think it's number one, and I'm pretty sure it's up there already for being like the most watched first season of any original TV show of all time. So obviously they have something that is so good, and for them to drop the ball like this rumor suggests, it would that's going to be a serious detriment to Disney, and that's going to be something that makes the Star Wars fan base really really pissed off if they drop the ball with this. So I mean, I don't know if you have anything, to say on that. And then, then I just kind of want to talk about the credibility of this leak and rumor. I think you believe it a little bit more than I do. I have some skepticism, but, Captain, if you just want to talk a little bit about like why you think this might be true, and, it's kind of relation to the John Boyega thing that makes it, be like, oh yeah, you know what, this could be true because of what John Boyega just came out with. So if you want to go into that a little bit before I reveal kind of some of my skepticisms about this article.
Well, the article is interviewing a YouTuber, which is immediately I'll say most YouTubers normally have a good standing with information leaks. A lot of them don't straight off the bat. There's a lot of people that don't, but the few ones that do are normally very trusted, and they've already been right several other times when it comes to Disney Star Wars, particularly around the fact that they they put out there a while ago that the Obi-Wan thing was having problems and was not going to have, its schedule released on time and all this kind of stuff. And a lot of places were like, no, it's fine. And then it came out that it wasn't fine, and they were like, look, I told you guys, it's fine. Plus, from the information, it's not fine. Sorry. Plus, from the information that I can glean from this person, they don't just go on one source. They ask other people in their community to ask people who have. I was going to say spies inside Disney's Ranklands, but yeah, they make sure that they don't just get it from one source of information. Like you always should. You should get it from multiple sources. So two, we will be seeing character development across the board, and might be moving away from the fact that it's not just going to be centered on the Mandalorian. So they've been right pretty much 99% of the time. Now, obviously there is more to this article, so read the rest of the article and you'll see that the little part that I was talking about, there's way more to it. Okay, like them specifically mentioning the fact that it might not have been Pedro Pascal that was having problems, and
It could have
why they
been
would
one of the
shift away.
Mandalorian suit guys or something. Who knows? Because we know
Yeah,
Pedro
well,
Pascal isn't in the suit all the time. He just does obviously
no,
all the
yeah,
voice acting.
exactly. But
Um,
they also they mention that why in a show called The Mandalorian would you move away from The Mandalorian?
yes.
So we certain we've seen that in this show, but the fact that they generally tend to be right is why I will go onto I'm on the 50-50 line. The
Hmm.
stuff that have come out from official people who work at Disney who are like, yeah, your Mandalorian's doing some stuff down the line. And then this person who managed to get out ahead of it and say, like, yeah, there's stuff going on at Disney. And then other other outlets be like, no, no, we talked to the publisher, everything at Disney's fine, nothing's gone wrong. And then someone has an interview with someone and like Favreau and says, yeah, no, we're focusing on other characters this season. And then
Yeah.
it's like, Jesus walked out and said, yeah, someone's going to betray me. And people are like, nah, we're not going to do that. No, nothing, nothing. And he's like looking at the corner of his eye at Judas, like, I know it's you, Judas. I know you're going to do it, Judas. And then, he talks to Peter. He's like, Peter, a crow's going to cry, a cock's going to crow 3 times. And each time you're going to say, I don't know Jesus. And
Mm.
he's like, no, I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And then, Cock crows, I don't know him. Cock crows again, I don't know him. Third time, who's this Jesus guy? Huh? And then, boom, Jesus was right. So, I mean, if you could draw connections between a biblical book that, let's be honest, I'm pretty sure Jesus died to push the book sales, and stuff going on with this, and yes, I understand I brought religion into that. That's kind of weird, but if you have this ability to spot patterns and mention them or have sources that aren't just talking shit to get money out of you or anything like that, if you've got that kind of like pull and you can get that stuff out and you're not afraid of Disney, I like you. So I like this person. I will definitely go check out other articles and find what I can. But like they said, a lot of things, a lot of outlets are covering Disney's back at the minute because they're most likely on Disney's payroll. Because let's face it, Disney's an evil corporation. But yeah, no, I think everything that this person has said is probably going to be right. I'm still 50-50. I'm like, but they haven't let me down so far. So
Yeah. So at first, I just want to say what I think that there may be some credibility in this article. I don't really know anything about the YouTuber or anything about the people publishing this article, like you do, but the only credibility that I can find in this, and it's not really the only because it's a big chunk of credibility that makes me
yeah,
more probably towards 75% not believing it, 25% believing it, is that obviously we know how dysfunctional Lucasfilm has been with all this live action Star Wars stuff. We just, I just rambled on for a few minutes, a little bit ago about all the dysfunction and all the and all the movie production problems that Lucasfilm has had with all these new Star Wars movies. And so I would completely not be surprised if this is the case with The Mandalorian season 2, because obviously we know all the problems, and we know, with Kathleen Kennedy and a lot of the Disney executives wanting a little bit too much power when it comes to the story development and a little bit too much power when it comes to what's actually happening on set and the acting within the
yep.
actual characters. So that's why I can see this. But here's where I can't see this being, real. Um, I find it hard to believe with everything that gets leaked that ends up being true. I mean, we think about most of the script and real plot of episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, was credibly leaked and was 100% accurate, leaked months before the movie came out. Throughout this entire, Disney Star Wars reign, we've had so many things leaked before they actually happened. Some of them are just people completely making it up, and a lot
Yes.
of it is actual leaks with actual stuff that are from the movies or from TV shows or books or what have you. Most of the time, we don't get announcements from stuff from Disney. We get announcements of stuff from Reddit, leaks on Reddit or 4chan or whatever, that these people, or YouTube, that these these guys come out and they have these leaks and say they have these sources, and a lot of the times they do, and a lot of times they're right. And so I find it very hard to believe that if this was the case, if we think about it, filming for The Mandalorian season 2 ended back in March, right? Because they said it was already wrapped up and finished when before COVID hit. So they said that it was, the season 2 was safe and it was already filmed and that it would not be delayed. And obviously we're now getting it on October 30th. So that means that this tension on set had to have happened sometime during filming, which we don't know when filming started, but it probably was sometime over the winter leading up into that March date. I find it very hard to believe that if that was happening in the winter, and when that tension and the Pedro Pascal not even being on set and the Mandalorian being written off the show practically, if that is true, I find it very hard that we haven't heard about it up until now here in September. That is such a major thing that I think would have had to have been credibly leaked right when it
Well,
happened, or significant time, or so not much significant time afterwards. I just find it very hard to believe that we're sitting here in September just hearing about this when this went down in like January, February, and March. I think that, and such a big thing like this, how it wouldn't have gotten leaked off that set where it's like, oh my God, Pedro Pascal walked off the set, The Mandalorian's being written off, his own show. I just find it incredibly, incredibly hard to believe that that is the case, that, that hasn't been leaked and we haven't, heard of this information prior to finding it out now.
I can kind of blow your argument out of the water right there a little bit.
Okay.
Because when let me just try. I want to make sure that I get everything straight so I can fire a shot right across your bow and hopefully be accurate. So I need to know filming starting for the first in the Disney Star Wars trilogy. Can we remember when that started filming?
Mandalorian, or what are we talking
No,
about?
no, no. We're talking the Star Wars trilogy of terrible movies that I believe don't exist.
I think 2014.
So 2014. So let's just put this. Okay, so from 2014, I'm not going to give you specific dates because that'd take too long to pull up, and I don't want to. I don't want to have to spend too long loading me cannons. So 2014 to when did the last movie come out? That was like what 2017, 2018. Wait, no, because we've
No,
got
The
one
Rise of
every year.
Skywalker was
So
2019.
2019. Okay, so those three movies, and people were really good at this because people predicted this some of them predicted it from the first movie, but it has only just come out that those movies didn't have a plan.
Well, I think we figured that out kind of from episode 8, the second we walked out of the theater, that they didn't have a plan. But
But the thing is, from conception, Daisy Ridley told that the movies were changing so often that they just didn't have a plan. So that okay, that doesn't completely blow your argument out of the water because if it's only just come up to now, several years after the first movie came out and it was Daisy Ridley who was like, yeah, let's just slap Disney for a little bit. If it's only just come out now, though, a lot of people were able to see it from the first one, and then a lot more were able to see it from the second one. That stuff can be hidden for a long time. I'm quite impressed with how long things can be hidden when it comes to like movies and all that kind of stuff. So it is possible that people have seen it because it could have just been, "Hi, I'm an executive. Pedro, can you do this for us?" And he's like, "What?" And he's like, "Well, we want to do this. Can you do this for us?" He's like, "No." So he walks off, and then you give it 10 minutes, and he comes back, and he's like, "Do you know what? Actually, it might be. I've sat down and thought about it. Might be a good idea. Yeah, let's do that."
Yeah.
That could have happened. So it might not have been a massive walk off set. It might have been a small little tantrum, and then he comes back, or the executive might have walked off and had a small tantrum because oh, what are you doing? You're supposed to be doing this because I'm in charge, like people with power often do. So it might not be as massive as we potentially think, but at the same time, like I said, I'm 50-50 on it. Standing back, I'm looking at it from a distance. I'm not putting on some ruby tinted glasses or anything like that. I'm making sure that after we've done this, I'm going to go check out a bunch of other stuff. And like I said, it's surprising how long things can stay hidden, and especially if it happens halfway through season of filming something, it's a lot easier to hide than if it happens at the beginning. Because if at the beginning and at the end, people have got their eyes on you halfway through doing something, people don't really care.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think, that really does it for all I have to say on this topic. Before we wrap up here, I don't know if, Captain, if you want to touch on anything else, or,
No, I think we've
all
managed to
right.
cover everything.
Yeah, so obviously, we said this last week. We'll say it again this week. Hopefully, we get a Mandalorian season 2 trailer to review next week. Obviously, if this leak and this rumor or whatever article, what have you, whatever you want to call it, if it is true and if it does have legs, then that means that maybe we won't be getting a Mandalorian season 2 trailer until a lot longer from now than we think. Obviously we've been waiting for it for weeks, kind of just sitting around waiting for, some sort of glimpse at the season 2. Obviously, if there is major issues, like this article suggests, then that is obviously, a major reason that we do not have a trailer yet. But so hopefully we'll have a trailer to review with you guys next week for episode 29. And whether we do or not, we'll still have something to talk about with you guys next week. And yeah, so we'll see you.
See you in a bit.